Done this over 2 sittings, so half of it I'm wearing a hat and half I'm not. So what is work ball into the box? When I work ball into the box, what I think of is Barcelona, City, that type of team, grinding teams down with short passing play in and around the box, waiting for that opportunity for the perfect chance. Now it's one of those team instructions that sometimes gets used incorrectly, so you don't get the full impact of it when you select it. It's a good thing to consider when you're planning your tactics. So do you want your team to be a slower, possession-based team, working the ball into the box, waiting for the opportunity, or do you want them direct, full on, full throttle? If it's the latter, work ball into the box probably isn't for you. Work ball into the box is better for possession-based teams who are going to wait for the opportunity. The game does tell you this when you hover over the work ball into the box team instruction. It basically tells you what it's asking from you. Work ball into the box instructs players to work hard for their opening, remaining patient and not forcing the issue. It's telling you they're going to wait for the opportunity for the ideal pass, so you may not get as many shots away because they're not going to just shoot willy-nilly and they're not going to cross when it's a low percentage chance. If you're going to select work ball into the box as a team instruction you want to use, it needs to fit into your style of play. This example here is pretty much perfect. You've got playing out defence with a shorter passing base. The tempo, it can be lower or higher depending on how you're dominating the game, but you're going to be working the ball into the box. Now, if your passing directness was more direct, it's not going to quite work as well. Hovering over it will tell you the story. It instructs players to adopt a style of play based around quick transition from back to front, so more direct passing, longer balls perhaps, and the ball covering long distances in a quicker amount of time. Therefore, if you want your team to play more direct fashion and more urgency perhaps, you're probably better off taking work ball into the box off, because that's going to slow things up and they're not going to gel. The two instructions are going to counteract each other. So you're better off potentially leaving it completely off, or then working with a hit early cross, shoot on sight policy. But basically, just like you need your formation to make sense with the roles and the formation, the way the team are lining up, you need your team instructions to make sense as well. Work ball into the box is not really suited for more direct play. It's more patient, more probing. However, there are occasions when you don't have work ball into the box selected and it may be time to select it. For example, when you're in a match and you're totally dominating the game, maybe having shots all over the place, but you're not quite getting the clear-cut chances that you want. But you're dominating possession, your shots are raining into double figures. It may be time to scale it back, select work ball into the box. You're going to have less shots, but the chances you create are going to have a better quality because they're going to be a bit more patient and wait for a better chance rather than just shooting all over the place. And you can do this if you're dominating a game. On the flip side, if you are playing work ball into the box and you're not getting many chances, you're not creating much, your possession isn't what you hoped for, it's time to take work ball into the box off because you're not getting the possession to be patient with the ball. Take it off and reassess. Let's take this example. Now, the other point to remember is you're better off if you're going to try work ball into the box is to have a good technical passing team. So you need good attributes in those areas. Now, somehow in League 2, I've managed to build a team that's pretty decent in that, so that's the way I'm playing. And this goal should show you how it goes. So, as you can see, there's loads of players there in the box. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 3 on the outside. So, 7 in the attacking space. At any point during this attack, they could shoot. They could shoot and waste the chance. Now, they're just patiently probing here at the minute. Probing. Even going back a little bit. Little dink there. Now they're making some inroads. Griffiths has got on the ball now. He could shoot. Could shoot there, doesn't. Gibson could turn and shoot, doesn't. Lays it back to Butterfield, could have shot, doesn't. See what I'm saying? Back, waiting, probing until they finally get the through ball and Gibson puts it in. That is a work ball into the box goal in full flow. But look, it doesn't always work out that way. If you're stubborn with your work ball into the box like I was here against Cambridge, you're going to lose. You may dominate possession like we did, but we only created 8 shots with 3 on target, whereas Cambridge playing a more direct game mugged us with 19 shots and 10 on target. I should have took off work ball into the box at the point where I saw we weren't getting anywhere, we weren't making inroads. Maybe change my tactics, maybe play for players for set piece, perhaps play for early crosses. I never, and we lost because we were too patient this time, too patient and too probing. So you've got to weigh it up. The best thing to do for me, especially in teams that aren't technically amazing, but you don't want to hit early crosses, the best thing for me to do is this. Is come onto your team instruction screen and take it off. Remember, you don't have to select all these. I've done a video on this just above there. Just because you can select these doesn't mean you have to. So So take it off. What that does is it tells your team to judge it for themselves. You're not instructing them. You're not instructing them and telling them specifically you're going to work the ball into the box here. What you're going to say is you're going to choose. You're going to get into these areas. You decide if you're going to cross it. You decide if you keep hold of it and wait for a better chance. Especially at the lower leagues, I think it's a better option not to overload your players with instructions. I'm doing it because I've managed to get a decent technical team, but in many instances you're not going to do that. So a lot of the time it's good to just leave that clear. In closing, work ball into the box is a great tool. If you're a dominating team and you are possession hungry, I would use it. I would definitely use it. But make sure you're a good technical team as well, because it's going to rely on a lot of passing and a lot of vision from your players to get that key chance. Otherwise, you might be probing for nothing and not creating anything.